It is so great to have all of you here this morning at our second Immigration Forum. My name is Josh Smith. I'm the lead pastor of Mountainside Communion, which is the church here on the property. I'm also privileged to work with our directors of the Immigration Resource Center, Jonathan Fung and Jean Grant, who you'll meet here shortly. The IRC, as we affectionately call it, was started 10 years ago when Mountainside Communion began a journey into getting to know some of our neighbors who, by the work of the Holy Spirit, we would say, introduced us to the justice work required of people of faith and goodwill like each of us. And scripture passages for us that are important, where Jesus talks about the heart of God being feed the hungry, give water to the thirsty, and welcome the stranger in your midst. And if you do that, that is the heart of the work. And in Hebrews, it talks about welcoming the stranger, and be warned, you might find yourself welcoming angels. And here in the city and the county of angels, we have a challenge in front of us. Brothers and sisters are being racially profiled. Brothers and sisters are being intimidated. They're being terrorized. And so we here today, people of good faith and goodwill, who are for the common good, we got some work to do. Amen. So thank you so much for being here and being a part of this forum. A couple housekeeping items, and then I'll invite up our first guest. If you need to use the restroom at any point, they are directly behind you through the doors to either side of the entryway there. Feel free to do that, obviously. If you need a snack, Jean and her team, they do it right. There's food back here. There's coffee. Feel free to jump up and enjoy the snacks. We don't anticipate any kind of immigration enforcement or anything like that today, but if for any reason you feel like you need to be in a safe space, you can walk out these doors right here, and there's signs that mark a couple of designated safe spaces for you to move towards if for any reason any of you wanted to do that today. So thank you again for being here. We, as a part of this work for 10 years, we've had a wonderful relationship with the police department here in the city of Monrovia. We've worked with 4 chiefs now, and they have been great partners in the immigration work that we do. And so our first guest today, I'm really thankful to introduce you to, is our Chief Heath Harvey, who's here. And I would just want you to welcome him as he comes up and shares with you today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Josh. Good morning, everyone. Josh has to teach me the clapping trick because that worked wonderfully. So before I get out of here, he's going to have to show me how that works. Jean contacted me a couple weeks ago and asked if I would come out and speak today, and I was honored to be asked for a few reasons to come out and speak. One, you're the community of Monrovia. I serve the community of Monrovia. So whenever I have the opportunity to come out and speak, I really take advantage of it and appreciate it. 2, we all know why we're here. This is very specific. It's to talk about some current issues that our country faces, and it comes home to Monrovia. Where I come in is oftentimes some of that enforcement that we're dealing with looks as though it's coming from someone in my uniform. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to speak to each and every one of you to let you know where we are as a community, where we are as not just a community from Monrovia, but a community from law enforcement. I have to be careful about speaking for others and other agencies, but I can say that other agencies, chiefs of police around Southern California, speak on a regular basis on everything that affects us as law enforcement and what our mission is, which is to make all of you feel safe and secure. We do this on, like I said, regular basis. As recent as yesterday afternoon, I sat in a meeting with all chiefs of police from LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino, and the first thing on the agenda that we spoke about was why we're here today. And over the last few months, quite often, when we get to this topic, the topic of immigration, things that haven't been discussed and that are on the agenda after that just get pushed aside and they aren't talked about because we're all so tied up in dealing with this constant challenge that we all face from a number of different sides. So with that, law enforcement stands united in what I'm about to say. But I won't speak for other agencies, but I can tell you that we do stand for what I am prepared to talk about, which is immigration and how we look at it. What we want to do in Monrovia is we want everyone to know that we have a mission. One of those missions are that we want to provide the residents and members of Monrovia with a premier quality of life. Nowhere in there does it say citizens. Nowhere in that mission does it say anything other than members of Monrovia. That is all. That has been our mission. That is a goal. It's also one of the goals of the Monrovia Police Department. We want everyone to know that if you need something, please call us. Call us. That is paramount. We need to hear from you if you need something. That's why we're here. Our goal is not to find out, nor do we care, your citizenship, your immigration status, your personal lives. We're here to help in whatever fashion you need, period. You would be amazed. I could stand here all day and tell you why people call us, and most of you would get a chuckle out of it. But that's a different topic. But please call us. One of the other things we can talk about, and I can assure you, is our policy. Our policy prevents us from asking certain questions related to immigration. Our policy simply says, you shall not ask people about their immigration status. We don't do it. We didn't do it before we had that policy, but we did put it into policy. It has been in policy for years. In addition to that, years ago, there was a law created, which really helps us, that says law enforcement will not talk to and share information with federal government related to immigration. There are some exceptions to that. Those exceptions are exceptions that I think most of us would agree with. We only share information on criminals, certain crimes. They have to be very violent crimes. Those violent crimes are people that, regardless of immigration, are going to likely be prosecuted, go to court, be prosecuted, and go to jail. At that point, immigration is secondary. Those are the people that, as a chief of police, I don't want to see in our community for your safety. Has nothing to do with immigration status. If any of you have had contact with our officers, I think you would all say that none of them have asked you about immigration. We don't ask for IDs. We don't ask for that information at all. If we were to ask for an ID, it's not to find out about immigration status. It's to find out some information about you. Simply, who am I talking to validate, verify who you are. And that's it. Our officers are trained in this. We remind them of this. They deal with this on a daily basis. Most of them have personal stories about how this has affected them and how it's touched their lives. We're all sympathetic to this situation. We try to leave, we are human, believe it or not, and we do try to leave our personal lives, our personal opinions at home. You need us to do that because you need us to enforce the laws of the land. And like I just said, that law says we are not here to check immigration. We're here to help. We want to be the resource that we are intended to be for this community. This is the only police department I've worked for. I've been here 28 years. I feel proud and fortunate to have been a part of it and to still be a part of it and to now be able to stand up and be the voice of the department. And the voice is saying, we're here to help. If you need us, please let us know. That's really it. It's as complex as this is. My message is rather simple. Use us. We're here for you. Period. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief. That's wonderful. We are thrilled to be in a community that is so committed to our immigrant neighbors. My name is Jean Grant. I'm the Director of Development and Strategic Partnerships for the Immigration Resource Center, and I would like to invite right now to the podium a community activist that I recently saw on the news. He's also the president of the NAACP in Pasadena and the director of Harambe Ministries. He is someone who cares about the community, and he is everywhere. And I just was like, we can't do this event without him. So his first IRC event, I'm going to welcome Brandon Lamar.
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I feel like I'm at family now that Michael's in the room. Let me just give you something that's interesting. The fight that we're in is very different. And it's very true that there's nothing new under the sun. But the important thing is that our community shows up. Here's why we say that. Out of every person that has been taken off to the streets of Pasadena, we've attended every last one of their immigration hearings. And every judge has said that we've never seen a showing of the community like this ever before. So every time we showed up, they granted those individuals bails. This is something that's different for us. It's something that we've never seen before in this type of light, but it's important for our community to continue to show up. And let me, as a black male first, let me say this. Solidarity is very important in this moment. And if you think that you're untouchable, think again. Because when injustice happens to one, more than likely, it will happen to you. Let me explain. No, it's not a political conversation, and we ain't gonna take it political. But at the end of the day, Medicare is at stake right now. My mom was in the hospital 5 months. She just got out in March. She was fighting for her life. She got out, we took her home, and she has to do physical therapy. And because of the cuts to Medicare, they took her physical therapy from 3 days a week to one time every 2 weeks. If you think you're untouchable, it might not affect you like it's affecting everybody else, but it will affect you in some type of way. These things are important for our community to continue to show up and be a part of, and share your voices, share your concern. At the end of the day, we're all neighbors, we're all community members, we breathe the same air, and it's important for us to stand up. This was important for us because the same individuals that they were taking off of the streets of Pasadena was the same individuals that was helping us to rebuild our community after the Eaton fire. These are the same individuals that was literally going into our streets and cutting trees so that fire departments and ambulance and police officers can actually go through the street before Public Works even showed up. These individuals was going into our community. This is important for us. And so if they stood up for us, they live here, they shop here, we also have to make sure that we're standing as one community. So thank you guys for the work that you do. Thank you for continuing to use your voice and your organization as advocates. But I'll tell you this, please, if you know of anybody that has been, I won't say taken, kidnapped out of our community, show up for them, right? Spread the word. A lot of them are gonna need lawyer support. Lawyers are not free. A lot of them are gonna need bail money so that we can make sure that these families are connected again. One lady that was taken off of our streets, and I'll share this quick story and I'll sit down. 3 weeks ago on a Saturday, when it first started happening in Pasadena, we had a tamale stand at Villa Park, and the lady actually saw ICE take people off the streets. to the point to where she was so scared she just didn't go out anymore. Her 14-year-old son made a decision to work for the tamale stand and go out there and put his life out there. Away from summer, away from his friends, away from the games. He's out there every single morning at 5 a.m. to sell tamales so that his family can stay afloat. The same day that we helped him sell out of those tamales, the same exact day as we're helping him close up, ICE takes a single mother of 2 young men off of our streets. And now those young men are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their rent. Because she was the breadwinner, a single mother. This is what's happening. Not only did that happen, but actually they took her as they were on the walk as a family. So now it's trauma because one arm they have, the other arm ICE has. And it's trauma. Those are other things that we have to deal with. The mental health capacity of our young people that they're dealing with in this situation. So as we continue to fight, I'm happy to report that literally that woman is now home with her 2 children. 3 of the men are at home with their families, and we're continuing to support our community during this time. So as best as you can, show up and do what you can. Stay in your lane, but do what you can. All right? God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here today and for your work that you're doing, and we support you, and we're so glad that you could be here today. I want to bring up Jonathan Fung, who is our Director of Legal Services. Just so you know, and he's going to tell you this. Come on up. Come on, Jonathan. The reason we're doing this event today is so that we can now take action, just as Brandon was saying. We are going to take action. We now know our rights. Now we need to know how to protect our rights and the rights of our immigrant neighbors. And as Brandon said, stay in your lane. The way we stay in our lane is we get trained up in all the lanes we can, and then we pick the lane. So we're going to give you opportunities to have connections to new types of trainings, new ways to gather information, and there are community leaders who have agreed to be here today that we're going to break up in 4 groups in a little bit, that you can choose the lane and you can talk to the community leaders in that lane. And in the meantime, I want to give Jonathan just a minute to say what he has to say, or 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jean. All right. Good to see everyone here. My name is Jonathan Fung. I'm the Director of Legal Services for the Immigration Resource Center of San Gabriel Valley. We've been doing this work for a long time, actually longer than we've existed, because the church, Mountainside Communion, has been activated since 2012, helping a lot of the local school children with DACA when that program was first announced, and working with the local parents and the local Monrovia Boys and Girls Club. So I just want to talk about your role and how important that is in the context of the legal work, because even though everyone knows, like, okay, you do need to have legal representation if you're going to want to fix your status, if you want your permanent residency, your citizenship, but really it's going to take the whole community during this time. I've been doing this work with the IRC for about 10 years, and this is probably the greatest moment of fear and anxiety and just panic that I've seen the immigrant community experience in the last 10 years. And if you work, with the community for 10 years, you're gonna see people develop. I've got to see a lot of faces over the course of my work with them grow from high schooler to college graduate to married. And it's been really a joy for me to see people thrive and develop. But it's also been painful when you see people who are fundamentally good and who haven't really changed. The character has always been the same, but their circumstances are dictated by the policies, the politicians around them, and everything else that is out of their control. And so you'll see things like, first college graduate, somebody who got to apply for DACA, and they are going to be able to graduate and get a great job and really look forward to the future. And then their younger brother, oh, you came, you turned 15 under a different president. You're never gonna have a work permit. Maybe college isn't even right for you. And now we're seeing that same thing happen at an extreme level, where we just heard Brandon talk about bail and bond. A couple days ago, they announced that the federal government is now taking the position that most people that we're going to work with do not qualify for bond at all. And the local police will tell you, if you commit some crimes, you can probably commit some pretty gnarly crimes and still be able to get out on bond. But in the immigration context, they're now saying it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a good person, how many mouths you have to feed, and for the crime of working hard in the strawberry fields, for dropping your children off at school, we can now indefinitely detain you. We can now keep you and just pressure you to give up, no matter how good your case is, no matter how strong your claims might be, no matter what your family connections might be, no matter what kind of flight risk you actually are. And so we're going to see a lot of arbitrary sort of outcomes for people who actually qualify. That's my work. A lot of people think, or a lot of rhetoric is being tossed around that when somebody is undocumented, they should stay that way forever. But that's not true. That's not what the law says at all. We work with people who probably qualify for some sort of immigration benefit or pathway to status or permanent residency. And we help them overcome the obstacles that they can't on their own, whether that be financial, whether that be good legal representation, whether that be all the other circumstances that are preventing them from pursuing that. And that's really where you come into play now, because if people are too scared to go to work, too scared to leave their home, too scared to get the evidence, the documents they need, to go to the consulate to get their birth certificates, to go to the courts to get their records, then suddenly justice, again, becomes arbitrary. It's just a game of who's lucky, who's unlucky, who's going to be detained at the bus stop, and who manages to get across the city without being harassed. And so we can't do this alone anymore. Even the lawyers themselves are being attacked. What if you're a person who's lost their representation because their lawyer had to be let go due to the federal government deciding it's too woke to honor contracts or to keep their promises for money that's already been granted? In that case, people are going to be left without resources, and we've seen that attack affect not just the immigrant communities, but spread out to the whole system of their support network, to all the nonprofits that are working with them, to all the good people like yourselves who care about them. And so I just wanted to say, if that's what's happening, Jean has pointed out a really good observation, like people are starting to wake up and realize this is actually our work now. There's not going to be like some magical bullet, some politician out there who's going to swoop in and save our community. This is actually, everyone in this room has a role to play, and this is going to be our work to protect those we care about. If the federal government is leveraging all their power, all the agencies, the billions of dollars at their disposal to create an atmosphere of fear and to drive people away from their loved ones and from their own support networks, then really the thing we can do is rally ourselves as a local community to be able to counteract that and create a place of love, a place of safety, a place of kindness, and let people still feel safe in community. So lots of things to be done, and I appreciate all of you, because the work would be impossible without that kind of support from all levels, financial, individual, in the ways that everyone is able to give. And just want to say I appreciate you all. All right.
Thank you, Jonathan. Couple quick things. We ask you not to take any photos during this presentation or record, because we actually are going to be, we're streaming this now live on YouTube, but just the slides, not the speakers. But you will have that. We will send that to you after the program, and all the links to know your rights and to all the things we're talking about today will be emailed to you, so you don't have to write anything down. You don't have to take pictures of slides. You don't have to do anything. Recently, we, as Jonathan mentioned, we have had a flood of calls of people like you, maybe even you, who have called and said, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And we really had to sit down as a team and say, okay, if you're not a lawyer, what can you do? And there are a lot of things you can do. And so as a team, we put together the 4 A's of action. And you may have already seen this, but I'm gonna just quickly let you know the 4 areas because we're gonna dive into them today. There is activism, there is advocacy, there is accompaniment, and finally, acts of kindness. Each of the areas require either none or a lot of training, and each one has different risk levels, and I will also say that they all kind of overlap. So we won't get too hung up on them being separate. But what I'd like you to walk away from this group with today is kind of which lane kind of just like draws you today. And maybe tomorrow it'll be something else, and maybe you'll do them all. But I'd like you to be able to walk away and say, you know, that doesn't sound like me, but you know what, I can do this. And we want to make it so concrete that before you leave, you actually know what you're going to do next. And then we will keep you in the loop. This is a cohort now. This is a group of people who have shown up for immigrant rights, for justice, and for our community. And you're here for that reason, and so we're gonna keep you in the loop on what we're doing, and we hope you will keep us in the loop on what you are doing. The first area that I want to dive into is activism, and we have a speaker here from the Coalition for Human Immigration Rights, CHIRLA, and if he could come to the podium, there he is, Vladimir Carrasco. And he is going to share a little bit more about rapid response networks, which is one of the really big areas that we think many of you will want to move into next. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. God is good all the time. All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Vlad. I'm short for Vladimir. I'm the Climate Justice Director for CHIRLA, but we are all hands on deck right now, so that means we're all participating in the LA Rapid Response Network. That's covering all LA County. So I wanted to really give you all an idea of what it would look like to be part of the Rapid Response Network and what does it take to be part of that network. So first, I want to start with let us take a breath because there's a lot of stuff going on. Deep breath inside with me and then let it go. Yeah, what is going on? The situation is that almost 2,700 people have been disappeared from LA County. That's almost 3,000 people have been disappeared. And CHIRLA has the LA Rapid Response Network. That's a coalition of folks. And we have received 1,600 sightings. That means people call us, and we've seen ICE in our community for the past over a month and a half, 1,600 times. And you might be wondering, right, this siege in the city seems, in the county seems overwhelming, overpowering. What really can we do? What power do we have? Well, our power is in witnessing. Our power is in being there for each other and making sure that we are recording the brutality and the inhumanity that's happening. So I'm sure y'all have seen it a lot on social media. Maybe it's all over the news for you, but that's what we need to do to make sure that people's rights are protected. And that's the job of the LA Rapid Response Network. It is one that's more exposed, right? You're going out, you're using your privilege and your right, whether you're a person that's, white, so you're a little bit more privileged, or you have status, you're a citizen. We're asking right citizens to the front to step up and take the lead. So why step up? Because these arrests that are going on are warrantless, right? There's one thing that you need in this country, and that is to be proven guilty. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. And how does that happen is through a court of law. And even ICE, a federal agency, needs to go through the court of law to prove that you are here illegally or that you have committed a crime. But that's not what we're seeing. The 2,700 people that disappeared are regular people like you and me, people that work at nursing homes, people that were just going to work in the morning with no criminal record. But that's not to say that I want to start, dividing people by criminality, because Black and indigenous communities know this very well, but criminalization has been used to rationalize the stripping of people's rights for generations. So we want to be very careful when we hear that we don't turn a blind eye and say, oh yeah, these are discardable people because some criminal accusation, right? Because we're innocent until proven guilty. These are regular people like you and me that are getting accused of doing stuff. And if someone accuses you, that'd be unfair to just dismiss you and discard you. So yeah, I just want to emphasize, right, that shows that all of our rights are under attack. It happened to Black communities in order to enslave them. It happened to indigenous communities to strip them of their lands. We can't let it happen now because it, right, like the speakers have said before, it's going to happen to us. So what can you do? I am going to divert from Gene a little bit is you can take out your phone right now and write my email down so you can sign up, if you have not already, for the rapid response training that Chirla hosts. We host one about every 2 weeks. We hosted one last night, and some of the folks in here attended, so they're ready to go. So that's the first step to be a rapid responder. You need to do a training, and then you'll be activated into one of our networks. In the training, we'll cover, right, what does it look like, what are your rights, what are your roles, and what exactly do we want you to do. We never want you to violate any rights, intervene in any way. The only two roles of a rapid responder is to verify a report, record and collect as much information as possible, and then just be there for the families after. Because after ICE leaves, they destroy the community and they leave. Who's left there is the family members of the people looking for their missing relatives. So we'll be there to provide them resources. So yeah, my email is the letter V and my last name, Carrasco, CARRASCO, V Carrasco, @chirla.org, CHIRLA.org. Anybody need me to repeat it? Yes, V as in Vlad or victory, V for victory, and then last name Carrasco, C for cat, ARRASCO.org. So that's my email. At chirla.org. Thank you. And Gene will send it out. Thank you. But yes, write that down and send me an email saying Monrovia Rapid Response, I want to sign up to be in the training. You do the training, we set you up, and then we add you to a Signal group chat where you'll be in community with like the folks that are in here. And as soon as we get a call or someone sees ICE in the community, you report it in the chat. Then you mobilize. You try not to go alone, but not always a buddy will be available. You go check it out, verify if there is something going on. We'll inform you of your rights so that then while you're there, you can be telling people what their rights are. And then from a safe distance, right, we are never asking you to engage or intervene. You're there to just record and make sure that people's rights are being followed, which they are not. Yes. I would say use all of them, right? All of this is community grassroots, and as decentralized as we can be, even better. So yeah, I would say the biggest difference is just you choose the one that's nearest you and resonates with you the most. So whether it be Chirla or the Community Self-Defense Network, these are really good networks to be a part of. And if there isn't one in your community, it's about starting one, right? It's these mutual aid networks, it's these phone trees that are gonna save us, right? Our help is not gonna come from the federal level, it's gonna be our neighbors turning to each other and defending our rights because we, repeat after me, have the power. We have the power. Who has the power? We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. Who has the power? Exactly. So when you join the network, be part of the activation, help inform people of their rights. But I also want to give you an example of how important this is. So in LA County, right, we have won a legal battle, and we were able to do so because of the LA Rapid Response Network and the recordings and the reporting that we've been doing, the eyewitnesses, because that's the most important thing we can do in a court of law is have eyewitnesses that can report what's going down. And because of the LA Rapid Response Network, we were able to win an injunction against ICE to stop their racial profiling and warrantless arrests. And when that injunction came into place about a week ago, the arrests dropped precipitously. Precipitously. So it had a clear impact, and it shows that they're really doing just random kidnappings throughout the day. They don't have warrants. They're not investigating individuals or criminals. This is like targeting Black and brown communities. And our data shows this, that the highest concentration of enforcement is in Black and brown communities. So it is a racialized attack on our city to destabilize these two communities. And I just want to really emphasize that we have the power to stop this, even though it's slow, even though it's a little tedious through the court system, and it may not be as flashy as what's going on. It is possible to stop this, and right now we are in the middle of legal fights to make this happen. So, yeah, want to make sure y'all sign up for the Rapid Response Network. Yeah, I think they cover everything. What it looks like. Any other quick question? Oh, yes. So Signal is just another form of a group chat, another form of messaging app that's more secure. It has end-to-end encryption, which just means that it's more private and it's harder to hack, and it's also like harder for people to like track you down. So it's not that we're doing anything wrong, it's that we want to protect our communities because we see what's going on. This government unfortunately is using us standing up for our rights and using our free speech to target people, right? They're using immigration, as y'all remember, to target people that were protesting for Gaza. So it's already been weaponized politically. So now we just want to make sure we keep each other safe as we're advocating for immigrant rights, which is just all our rights. But yes, email me, sign up, and let's stay activated because we have the power. And like Dr. King said, right, darkness does not drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Only what can do that? Light can do that. So thank you so much. We are the light in each other, and I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so inspiring, and I'm really excited about moving into the next phase of rapid response networks, getting on Signal, getting trained up. I've been to the training twice online. It's fantastic. I really think that everyone should just jump on and just learn what it's all about. The next area that I want to talk about is advocacy. I want to go to accompaniment. Accompaniment is an area that we have a speaker here. His name is Siti Bin, and he is from Clue Justice. And I'm going to let him tell you what that is and what they do. And he is in the trenches of what is happening out there. And I'm so grateful to have you here. If you could come up and spend a little bit of time on the area of accompaniment. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's a huge blessing to be here. And my name is Siti Ben. It's pronounced as city, like Monrovia City. And I am an ordained minister and a faith-rooted organizer with Clue Justice, which stands for Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. What we do is that we educate, mobilize, and organize the faith community to stand in solidarity with anyone facing injustice. When it comes to economic justice, immigration and the economy overlaps. You know, I mean, right now, our hotel workers, you know, the hospitality workers, the tourism workers, majority are immigrants. You know, that's not including like the farm workers, day laborers, and all that. And also earlier I heard someone ask, like, what's the difference when it comes to the rapid response with all the different organizations doing it? We all work together. I attend the Churla's general larger Los Angeles Rapid Response Network, and there's over 100 different organizations and entity within that network. So we all work together. I mean, just the other day, I did a presentation and sharing about the Rapid Response Network. I have like a list of like 10 different organizations that cover different areas of the Los Angeles County and surrounding area, including Orange County. Now, some of you probably did what I done, where we came and placed on a map like our areas of like where we worked at or where we operate at. And I was saying that, you know what, like downtown Los Angeles, but with Clue, we're all over. We work remotely because we work with the community and different congregation of different faith background. Now, everything that we are doing is very important because our immigrant brothers and sisters, they need the support. And coming together like this is very impactful. I'm gonna give you an example. Just the other day, you know, we're talking about accompaniment. Just the other day, right now, Clue Justice, we're doing court observation in Los Angeles County and Orange County. And 2 days ago, we had 2 faith leaders that was there to observe what's taking place, you know, to jot down, record everything, because we're seeing that due process is almost non-existent when it comes to ICE enforcement. We're seeing that even citizens are being impacted. And we had a judge that dismissed the individual's case, and that was it. Then right when he stepped outside with his wife and children, ICE approached him and right there detained him. And it was just so horrendous to witness, because now, you know, you're having a family being broken right there in the hallway of the immigration court. And ICE, they're saying that it's showing some mercy because they are not going to detain the mother and leave it alone. So they took the father. And so right now, as I was sitting there, I was responding to an email because, look, we are right now looking for shelter for that mother, you know, because the father, so she have up to the end of this month. And so with Clue Justice, we cover different areas. We actually cover the whole holistic area of the 4 A's. We actually do. And then when it comes to accompaniment, we have the court observation and court accompaniment. We have families that will reach out to us through their attorney or through the point of contact. Many doesn't speak English. We work with different organizations as CHIRLA, IMDEF, Immigration Defender Law Center, and many others, just to stand in solidarity and provide the support for our immigrant brothers and sisters and neighbors and friends. And this is very important because without, as Vlad shared earlier, without everything being recorded and processed, then there's going to be like no truth or merit what's taking place. You know? And so we see that families are being impacted in a way that we as the community need to step up. For example, one of the things that we are also doing is grocery bag distribution. You know, so in addition to providing temporary shelter for those who are in need, many families are being impacted by the ICE enforcement that's taking place, where they're afraid to go out to the food drive that's available to them. They're afraid to be out in public. Right now, there are many reports where an ICE agent will come out to see somebody, a person of color, racial profile, and they would jump out the car and they will like lift up a document to them. Hey, do you know this individual? You know, this person is wanted. And we'll have a photo of, you know, somebody, and then they say that this person is wanted. And then after that, the individual will like, oh, no, I don't know. Then, oh, what's your name? Where are you from? You know, are you a U.S. citizen? Now, before, if you are a refugee or a naturalized, you know, alien, it's all right. You be safe. Now, if the answer is that you're a non-citizen, you will be detained. And in fact, it's worse now, where even if your answer is that you're a citizen, but you speak broken English, guess what? You will be detained also. You will face a couple of hours of detainment and just facing that uncomfortable situation. And sharing all this, I myself am an impacted individual. Right now, everything that I'm doing is out of the passion of my heart because I have the lived experience. I had an order of removal. I had an ICE check-in on April 2nd, and ICE told me that I had 60 days to self-deport. Now, community support is very important because the only way for me to prevent ICE from deporting me is that I need to receive a governor's pardon. And so the community stepped up, writing letters of support. The faith communities got together, and that is very powerful because by the grace of God, on April 18th, on Good Friday, I received a call from the governor's office that I received a pardon from Governor Newsom. And so there was some hesitancy when I was invited by Gene to come and speak here because even though I have a pardon and that should protect me under normal circumstances, that will be the case. ICE agent will hear that and, oh, congratulations. Cool, then that's it. We'll file a motion to reopen my case and terminate. But currently, with everything that's going on with this administration, especially with the current administration bumping head with our governor, oh, yes, right, because of all that, I'm actually being targeted by ICE. This is how messed up the ICE policy is, or the immigration policy is. We have individuals that are not supposed to be detained or deported, who are currently detained right now and deported. Even if they're unable to get deported back to their country, they are being deported to a third-party country. And right now, I am speaking the truth. I know friends, my peers, that are in that current situation. One of our partners that's hosting a migrant that we are supporting, ICE came and picked them up like 3 weeks ago. They went on Monday, picked him up from the church house. They detained him. His attorney got involved, got him out the following day because he's a recipient of CAT, C-A-T, Convention Against Torture. So because of that, the Board of Immigration Administration granted that to him, will protect him from detention and deportation to El Salvador. So he was out the following morning, Tuesday morning. And then Wednesday, ICE came back again, this time with Fox News, detained him. And now they're detaining him, and they said on Fox News, they're unable to deport him because of the Convention Against Torture. So guess what they're doing right now? They're detaining him indefinitely. So right now he's in detention center, his attorney can't get him out, and we're trying to get him out. And it's a struggle, it's a challenge, and this is why it's important for us to do what we're doing right now. Clue, we are doing many things, when it comes to stand in support of the community. There's a Know Your Rights training. If your community or a church congregation wants to do Know Your Rights presentation, we do that in our partnership with CHRLA, with MDEF. So we don't just do it alone. We have legal attorneys and all that to answer any questions and provide live updates, what's going on. And then from there, we have the court accompaniment, court observations. We do the grocery bag distributions, which is very important, and other ways that you can stand in support with the community. We also do these weekly prayers, Tuesday vigils, prayer in front of the federal building in Los Angeles County and Orange County also, but I know that this is more farther away from Orange County. And that's the thing. Earlier, Brandon was sharing that, we're not asking you to do everything, but, just to do something. So here, we are just asking you to do anything that you could. It's really not much. Just doing one little thing counts a long way. And other things that we are also doing is looking for volunteers for the food distribution. We are partnering with Emmanuel Presbyterian in Koreatown, where we do food drive every Wednesday morning and Friday morning. Currently, right now, we have volunteers working with Emmanuel Presbyterian, dropping off grocery bags of goods to families that are impacted. So we do have a handful of families that are afraid to be out in public and that need assistance. So that is some of the things. And I want to share that when it comes to this type of work, it can get overwhelming when we see our own community being harmed. And one thing, like me, there are many times where I felt discouraged, where like, man, it seemed like it's an unwinnable battle. You know, we're going against the federal government, going against this new administration. It hasn't been, 7 months yet, and all this is taking place. You know, what's gonna happen in 2 more months, 3 more months, you know, especially after they're building more detention center. It's sad. I remember that in November, when this administration, the president was elected, I joked around and said that, wow, this will be a great time to invest in creating detention center. And I was just joking around. And now look what's taking place. Now, it have one question, you know, like the rumors or, you know, the theories like that ICE need to detain 3,000 people a day. You know, just like the one of the migrants that we know that was detained twice in 1 week. You know, and now they're not releasing him. No, in fact, just quickly, another story. I have a good friend. His name is Justin Chung. He had an order of removal to South Korea. He followed ICE instruction to the T. Is on TikTok. His wife is posting things up right now in this current situation. They posted up a video where ICE told him that he needs to buy a plane ticket to self-deport within 2 weeks. So he followed their instruction. On the day of that he's supposed to report to ICE, and they recorded a phone conversation where the ICE agent was like, hey, just come, turn yourself in, show us the plane ticket, and we're gonna have an ICE agent to accompany you to the airport, and then make sure that the transition is smooth. And ICE had hold on to his passport. So that was it. Him, his wife, his mother, they all got ready, jumped in the car. Right when they jumped in the car, ICE just came out right behind him and detained him right there in front of his mother and everything. And you can see Justin, like, man, I'm following your order to the T, man, I'm following every instruction. Why are you guys doing this? This is messed up. And all you hear the ICE agent say, you know what's happening right now, you know what's happening. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. And that was, 4 weeks ago? He's still in detention center right now. His attorney and his family is trying to get him deported to South Korea, and now ICE is saying that we don't have your passport. So yeah, and he's currently detained in Texas right now, so not in California. So, and you see like these tactics to separate families, to separate, the detainees from the support of the community. That's why it's important in what we are doing. Clue Justice, we even have an immigrant bond fund. So the bond fund where we coordinate with MDEF, Immigration Defender Law Center, to get the individuals out on bond. So the work that we are doing together is very important. And so all this, I want to end with this, that in Galatians 6:9, it says that we are not to grow in a specific way. We are to grow, being healthy, growing strong, growing, to be wise and smart. But one thing that we are not to do is not to grow weary in doing good. And one of the ways that we can fuel one another is to pour love into each other, into the community. And the way to do that is to come together like this. We are not asking you to do everything that's on the 4 A's, the activism, advocacy, accompaniment, and acts of kindness. But we are asking you to do something. One of the things, it goes a long way, and I can testify to that. If you were to Google me, you'll see it, you see everything. And I am here to provide the assistance support and to make that connection between our community members, the citizens, with those who are impacted. And you could even email me, contact me. Gene will share my contact information with everyone with the follow-up emails. And the 4A's sheet, amazing. All the detail, I love. I was going through it. I read everything, clicking all the different links, and it's right on point. So great job on that. So thank you all, and I just want to share all that, and thank you.
Thank you so much. As we were putting this program together, one of the most heart-wrenching parts of the process was the people who let us know that if they came, they would be in danger. And we take that very seriously, and we have many protocols in place today that we haven't even shared with you other than the private spaces, but I can't even really fathom saying my attorney told me not to do this, and I'm doing it anyway because this is what I believe.
So So just something real quick. So I was the point of contact for the rapid response with CLU and with our clergies. And so I actually got in trouble by my attorney because I was in the larger group text with Churla. And so I received a text, like, hey, this is going to be possible ice sighting in Sylmar. And I'm like, oh, I live close by. They're like, hey, I'll be there in 15 minutes, verify if ice is there. Not even a minute later, I got a call from my attorney, like, Sadie, what are you doing putting yourself in ice enforcement area? Don't do that. And then that was it. Then she spoke to my supervisor and like, keep city away from wherever there's ice enforcement. So I'm like, okay.
And yet, you still came today. And we appreciate that so much. And I think every person in this room would protect you at all costs. And if there is, right? Right. There are so many things that we can do. And the question, what can I do, it is going to be answered in this presentation. And I hope you are already thinking about, I'm going to go home and I'm going to Google CLU, I'm going to Google Churla, I'm going to start tapping into these resources, getting trainings and attending, maybe even helping with the food pantry in Koreatown, whatever works for you. And I know you will find what is best for you. We have two other areas that we're going to talk about, and it's going to be, this part's going to be quick because I want to give you a chance to go into a group with some really powerful community leaders who are already doing the work in these two areas. And I know from event experience that the minute you give people the chance to break into groups, they run. I'll just leave. Please do not do that. Please do not do that, because this is where the rubber is going to hit the road in all four of these areas. And one area will be here, one will stay here, and one will be right here. So the other two areas are advocacy, which advocacy is focusing on influencing local decisions, decision makers, and stakeholders through persuasion, education, and collaboration within existing systems. And we have Dr. Tamala Kelly here, who is on our city council, who is going to lead that session. And we have someone here, Catherine, who is here from the Foothill Democrat Club, who is going to share some of the things they've been doing. And we also have the opportunity for you to get some information about a small piece of advocacy you could do in terms of the Etsy platform is allowing people to produce all kinds of products that say alligator Alcatraz and funny alligators and hats and all of these things. And that's not okay, and it's also in direct violation to Etsy's anti-hate policy that is in writing. And we have a flyer that will show you how you can go in and you can protest an item and report it and say why. And that's something absolutely everyone in this room could do. There are hundreds of really offensive items that don't fit with Etsy's purpose at all. And I think Etsy is an incredible platform. But that's just one small way of doing advocacy. And Dr. Kelly can break down a little bit more when people say, oh, contact your council person, and then you go, I don't know who they are, and I don't know how to do that. She can break some of that down for you, and so that will be one of the groups, advocacy. And the final one is acts of kindness. And we have several great community leaders who are going to talk about ways that they have kind of taken matters into their own hands and decided, I'm going to start a food pantry, or I'm going to deliver food from out of our tutoring program, and I'm going to take food to people who are afraid to leave their homes. These are the things that we can all do if we feel certain things are a little bit too high risk. These are things that are relatively low risk.